Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated man about town, my friend, our friend, Pepe Klein from Peno's Southern Italian Soul Food.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, man. I mean to tell you, they have the contest, say who's the best. Peno's. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying Peno's. Your menu is just off the charts. And with this weather, people may not say, "Oh man, I don't want to come out and do this and that." Hey, you do the have an option of carry out,
Yes, sir.
and from knowing from experience, you are well certified Hall of Affinity in your carry out service also. Uh, I've had, it's amazing that just the love of the food is there, and you take it with you when you go.
Well, you are very kind, sir. I appreciate that. And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. Better be a thick one because I'm thick myself. But I'm gonna say our staff over here. We're just celebrating 10 years at Peno, Southern Italian soul food. And I'll give you guys a little rundown of the soul food aspect of it. But just such great staff. We couldn't do without it. We're just like a team. We work like a team, just like me and you kind of grew up with teams and the understanding how important it is to have every individual, not just one. We can't all be messy, but you know, um, yeah, just the aspect of having a great team. And, it is hot now. So kind of all the restaurants are kind of suffering a little bit. We get into these little hot spells and people want to sit at home. And I understand that. I do too. But we do have some options. And, one is to come and pick some stuff up. The other one is to sit in our little dining room that we have and, enjoy some stuff. So yeah, I mean we're riding along at 10 years, just enjoying the ride.
Well,
So
congratulations, man. Way to go. Way to go.
yeah, with the Southern soul food, you do have some cold options too. I mean, everybody's kind of trying to not carve out so much, and that's understandable. But I think we have so much, vegetable options and cold salad options, and yeah, we can fit your needs if you like.
Yeah, and I mean to tell you, from Wales Certified, allow yourself to experience the experience.
Thanks, brother.
You know what I mean? I was all man, for spaghetti out of a can, heat it up, But you gave me the whole look about food, the nourishment about what it. Oh, you thought it was bad because you had a, a, an experience that was in Calabria. I can't pronounce it.
Mm-hmm. Calabrese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it wasn't from Pino because you make it to where it's like it doesn't just taste like chicken. It's nice, man. You say, "Oh
Well,
my God."
let me just tell you about the soul food that we talk about in the south of Italy. It's like the Creole of Italy, a lot of North African, Middle East. My significant other is Greek, a lot of Greek influenced food. So that Mediterranean diet it's amazing. Everybody thinks, oh, pasta, 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 but we think fish and vegetables and great oils. And, for us, it's like the, smaller, light experience. Do a lot of fish over here. And our food is not what you'd say, oh, here's, spaghetti and meatballs so much, although we have that. It's a little bit more of our kind of regional food. And where we're from is a little bit up in the mountains, but you go an hour, you're at the ocean. So, We got the best of both worlds, and I think that diet is it's amazing. It's a high protein, great fats. So, and there's some carbs involved, but most of the carbs we do are all in-house made with good flours. So all of our pastas, the majority, 90%, are handmade pastas. All of our proteins, we source them, real well. And then also in the summer, our farmers bring us a lot of stuff. So everything's kind of locally grown. Um, you're not going to come over here and get some of these crazy little bacteria things that are going on in our salads these days with packaged salads come from other countries. So we wash and clean our own lettuce. We prep every day. We try to consciously source our foods as best we can. And you come over here, it's in a beautiful little neighborhood, Clay. We got a beautiful patio when it does come down a little bit of temperature. So I think it's a great experience over here. I'm so grateful to be over in this restaurant and to be, in our community, impact our little neighborhood and our community with some real food. Just, most chefs go for the James Beard Award. Wales, I go for the Blackbeard Award. I got a couple. I got a pirate ship, and let me tell you, these guys when they're on it and gals, they're just just a great crew.
And there is a difference, and your crew yourself have become there. You enjoy being the difference because I mean, a handful of times being over there. Uh, Come on, man, you can't. That's not. You're not phony. I mean, that's some legit stuff going on.
Well, yeah. I appreciate that. I think that in this business, I mean, my wife's place been over there 45 years. I'm gonna give her a little plug. Michael's Bar and Grill, of course, everybody knows that. And yes, sir. And you can't last that long without being a great boss, being a good operator, great staff. I mean, for us, again, everybody can't have the superstars. This is not about the chef. It's about the experience of the guest. And, I think that we have immigrants, we have a wide variety range of individuals that work for us that they like to cook at home. They have children. They like to, when they're here, they like to cook. So if you don't like your job and you don't like to cook, it's going to be reflective on the dishes. If you don't like people in general, you're probably not going to have a good experience with a lot of guests. So you put all that together, and sometimes you get these teams, if you will, or these the staff that once it starts gelling, it's just an amazing. Like I'd rather, have a good solid team all the time than, win the awards here and there because,
Yeah.
like I like to say like I'm like the Tony Gwynn of chefs. I just like getting
Wow,
hits.
baby.
Base hits, base hits, base hits. And then,
Mm-mm.
we just were able to maintain some consistency. And that's the big deal, and that comes with uh, being able to teach people so they can learn to go other place and teach other people, or they can go to another place and go, oh, that was a great staff over there. I wish I was back over there. Or, if cats want to go open a new restaurant, man, I learned from him, like specifics, because
Yes.
we're in a business of pennies and nickels.
Yes, you are.
And so, I don't want to get political, but this world has become polarized with these politicians, and I'm not going to pick a side, that have really made it hard for the working man. And you come from the working man's situation to be able to function in this world and be able to raise a family or be able to have a business. And we're not asking for much, but we're at least asking for the ability to function. And we're just going to stay happy and do what we do, and hopefully, at some point, human beings realize that. We don't know. We're hoping on that end, but all we can do, me and you, and I believe a lot of people have the ability to put smiles on people's faces. That's our magic that the universe has given us. And even if it's the smallest form of putting a plate of food or saying hello or magically giving what you give out to people, through talking to other people and putting smiles on people's faces with stories and memories. When that's the key, I think, for life. And keep it simple, right?
Oh man, yeah, right. You know,
Keep it simple.
and also to work smarter, not harder.
For sure, man. That's a big, that's for us the biggest thing, Wells, is like if you have a craft, which you come from that situation of handing off things that can make things smarter and not harder for people, and they get the understanding of that, then they start putting that into their life, man. And like, okay, it's a little bit easier this way. I don't have to get up all tight and things. And so, I've learned that trying, as an operator to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And it's a daily deal, man.
And I'll even say this, and I've thought about this, that I cannot afford not to come around Peno's uh, Southern Italian soul food. I can't, you're thinking you're a poor man that, oh man, I gotta go fast food, you know. What fast food, man? You start adding it up, And the deal is to go to you to get nothing but quality. It lasts, man. The experience lasts. And I found, and I know mine, I cannot afford not to go to a local, beautiful restaurant like yourself to get out and about to live, man.
hmm on that tip, everybody, I think we come to a point in life where, like the first brain is the stomach. So whatever you're putting in your stomach affects your whole life. Your thinking, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual. And I really believe this, we are what we eat. And, if you're, and that happens with everybody that we get on these paths of convenience in life. But, in reality, the universe has given us such great things naturally that we've manipulated that again for our convenience. And what it's done is turned on us again. Man turns on man again. So, if you can find the ability to cook a little bit and understand food, I think it's perfect to eat at home, no problem. What we try to do here, it might be a little bit more impactful on your wallet, but you're going to get handmade stuff that's quality, it's taken care of, it's done with love, and you're going to get a meal that satisfies you without giving you some kind of situation in your system and aggravating you. And the next thing you know, you're spending just as much with 2 or 3 meals what you would have with a nice meal, or you bought some stuff at home where you compare a couple meals and then you could save to go out and have a good meal.
Right on,
So,
man.
if we sit here and do the kind of homework on it, you're going to save more every now and then. You're supporting the community, you're supporting people that are working hard, and you get a little bit of home training too, which makes you feel better about eating at home, and shop, it's some people think now that even the shopping in the grocery stores, the prices are so crazy now that, if you go out and eat a good meal because you can't take time to produce that meal at home, it's almost is less than it would be
Yeah.
at,
Yeah.
some other places. So, it's everybody's got the options in life.
Amen. And I you know, you've heard a lot of Broadway bull, but I mean, I think I'm a better person since coming over and knowing you and talking back and forth and eating, having the experience. That it really means something. I mean, gosh, you try to put a price tag on that, but
Absolutely. That's the experience. I mean,
yeah,
we're trying to give you the feast for the senses.
yeah, yeah,
Taste, touch,
baby.
sound, smell, feel, the whole interaction. I just, sometimes last night we had a table and it was busy and it was hot, so we had to have people inside, outside. And one table chose to be, oh, you can't see people like this. We're going, so and I just had to diffuse that a little bit and say, hey, go right ahead. I understand. But then I've had 4 or 5 other tables that are like, oh, we appreciate the experience. I had an older couple. They got up and they gave each other a little kiss, and it was so heartwarming. I said, "Oh, that was so nice." He goes, "You know what? We do that every time we go out to eat. We just take a little kiss after the meal because we're grateful to be here eating and to experience." And that right there was the magic for me.
Oh
That
yeah.
turned my whole night around.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we we get to experience other people's benefits, not for ours, but just to say, "Oh, we did our job.
And,
We did
and,
our job."
and that little place, you have had over the 10 years thousands of experiences like that.
Yes.
I mean, I experienced, it wasn't Gina Lola Brigula, it was Sophia Loren running across in a little light drizzle rain. I said,
Hmm.
Jesus, I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
the upshot is that I got to ask, is there a way that the combination of Michael's and Peno's could get together and have a place for, I mean, like a wow place?
Well, I think, for us, having these full service restaurants, they're a little tough these days. Everything's kind of changing. Things are going to change. Um, Katina, my love of my life, for all my life, basically, has just done an amazing job over there at Michael's, and they've bridged the gap between American and Greek food. Um, and, I've done quite a bit of different European style foods. I think it's such a great idea, and there's a restaurant in town that does Italian and Greek together. So for us, where we're from in Southern Italy, way Greek influenced, and for Katina, where she's from in Greece, was Italian occupied. So they say una fazza, una razza, same race, same face. But I think, yeah, I think going into the future, I think maybe some light cooking classes. To
Nice.
develop people's understanding of the two foods before we get into some craziness of a full service,
Yeah.
because I believe St. Louis is saturated with restaurants. Not a bad thing. We got great restaurant scene, but everybody's fighting for the same business and the same employee. So with that being said, you got to kind of have a niche, and there's one place has been kind of blown up with Guy Ferretti was in there, blah blah blah, and they do a great job. But I think for us, we realize that how much it takes to produce something to put on the table, and the margins are so low that maybe another way of doing that would expose the concept to other people. It could be a little show. I've been working on some shows. It could be a little podcast we could work on. So, or little cooking classes
Yeah.
that I together. We try to separate our lives. 12 hours of separation between a Greek and a Dago make a pretty good relationship. But right,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you're right with the mixing of those two foods because they're amazing, and I'm so grateful to be raised around that kind of food.
Yeah, man. Hey,
So
when I just was doing the arithmetic. I've been, it was for 10 years you've been there. It's like
hmm
5 times a year I go over. So I've
hmm
been there close to, I'm having an anniversary.
yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. And
Well, maybe I need to see you this week.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. And the whole story goes is that, starting a podcast when it was well, I immediately thought of you because it being well certified is more than just this or that. It accomplishes the whole thing, and that's what you preached, and that's what your mission was from the get go. As soon as you turned the key to open the door, that was your mission over there, and it's a it's a great place, and you're good with the neighbors. You got that deli,
Oh
Bratzel's,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Bratzel's Deli, yeah.
They're amazing. I mean, my neighbors. And one of the reasons I came over here is really felt like I manifested this place in my life. I used to drive through this neighborhood over here and go up into Clayton and work when I was younger, when I was not so focused. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it's really come
I
full
did
circle in my life. Yes.
I did the Wydown shuffle.
Yes. So I kind of, manifested, came available. My neighbors were patrons of mine when I had a place a long time ago over at Prots. So it was amazing. All my neighbors over here. So they've changed some restaurants over here after COVID. They've all kind of changed hands. I've been the longest over here. Well, now Prots have been here 50, 60 years. I think 60. But as far as the full service restaurant, the longest over here is kind of maintained and rode out the storms a few times. And, even into last year, 25 was a terrible year for us. Election, all this stuff going on in the world. But we kind of settled in and, figured, hey, sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you. But all the participation of the community in the neighborhood has really gave this a stable, and I think it could stay a restaurant for a long time because it's just community driven. A lot of people in the restaurant business want the bells and the whistles and they want all that. I anchor mine on community.
Yeah, well
I'm
said.
not in the community. I mean, we just have to in life. One day you're in the headline, next day you're in the breadline, Big Daddy. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We just
yeah,
kind of try to stay humble, and if not, we get humbled.
yeah,
Start
yeah,
doing some things crazy. But what a blessing
yeah.
to have these neighbors in the neighborhood, and
Eh,
you, brother.
Oh,
Love you,
thank
brother.
you, you big lug. Uh,
Yes, sir.
but I guarantee, Wydown from the front to the back, side to side, is one of the streets of St. Louis. It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
amazing.
And I've been traveling up and down that street since the late 60s.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
every season, every year is just more magnificent than the last time.
That's amazing, man. I mean, I really, when we come from humble beginnings, and I think when you get to this community and see how proud they are of these amazing houses and this kind of amazing community over here, you just got to kind of go, okay, man, I'm blessed, man. I appreciate this. So you're right. It's such beautiful, beautiful area. Love it. Yes,
If,
sir.
if I was a rich man, I would have to have a cobblestone area in my house somewhere.
Yeah. Well, how about that? I grew up on these cobblestone
Oh
streets
yeah,
over in Dogtown. So
oh yeah,
I
man.
tell people about that. I said, yeah, we're on a cobblestone street. Cobblestone, what do you
Oh
mean?
yeah,
And I'm
man.
like, oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think it was until they paved that street could we could play good sports in the street, man. We had to go up in the parking lot or somewhere where it was,
Absolutely,
you could be twisting
absolutely.
your ankle on that craziness.
Woo, mamma mia, baby.
But with that being said, St. Louis is known for their brick and those stones and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
What a great city, man!
yeah. Right. Well, it comes to that time, Pepe,
Yes,
is
sir.
for you to be able to have the time to say whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long
Well,
as you want to say it for.
we'll make it short and sweet. I feel very grateful at this point in my life to be alive, first off, and to participate in life, and to be able to take some magic and just feed it to people, if you will. And that's my greatest asset and my greatest gift um, to the universe. Not much, but I know it's enough. When you were talking about the impact of people, we go back 40, 50 years, of participating where we impact a lot of employees and a lot of clientele. And some people don't get that interaction, whether they're working in a factory or whatever they're doing in an office with other people. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of people we have impacted on a personal basis. I'm sure there's a couple not so good in our personal lives, but what an amazing journey to be able to look back and go, oh man, it's been so great. And that's not with any accolades or anything. That's just the human interaction of being able to put some smiles on people's faces. So
Wow.
that's it.
Yeah. You know, one of the P.S. One of the things is that a person said, "Hey, did he have a place this and that?" I said, "I don't know, but he probably did." And so you know, like Johnny Appleseed, wherever you went, man, you know, you brought those smiles and they multiply, bro.
It's a gift. I'm grateful for my parents, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad the lions of my parents didn't eat their young. 'Cause they probably wanted to at sometimes, but man.
Yeah. Well, I tell you,
Oh,
your mama's got some stories that they
oh man.
tell about down in City Hall. I
Yeah.
guarantee.
Oh yeah, man. She's 92, and I'm gonna tell you, she's amazing. And yeah, your family, your brother, and them, they
Yeah.
all knew each other very well, and
Yeah.
it was a good time for them for
Yeah.
sure.
Good people knew good. Made it a. They made it their mission to
Absolutely, dude.
meet and know good people.
Absolutely. Very grateful.
All right, you big lug. So
Yes, sir.
once
I love
again,
you. I love you so much, brother.
yeah, there
I'll
you
tell you
go.
that right now.
Once again, you're in the Wales Certified Hall of Affinity,
No, thank you,
but
sir.
almost anybody can get Wales certified if they try. All right, Pepe.
You know what, Wales?
Ah,
Don't I'm in your hall of fame, infinity, but I'm in a hall of shame somewhere too. So it's evened itself out. Thank you.
all right, all right.
All right, brother.
Cheerio.
We'll see you soon. You come on over. Yabba.
All right, then. Bye bye.
All right, brother. Bye.